Hello everyone, Melderon TV here, finally, on another vlog. Today we'll be talking about something a little bit more in-depth and perhaps a little more heavy-handed than just a standard what's my favorite vlog. You know, I like to alternate between the two things. And this time I'll talk about something that I have learned while playing on the Northdale private server, and it has to do with population size. And perhaps how Blizzard should approach the issue of population size when Classic launches. Before I get into that, though, I wanted to say that I have overwhelming respect for the Light's Hope team and the Northdale team for what they've done. They've done a tremendous amount of work. They've made the Northdale launch a tremendous success, dealing with so many people and doing it with grace and incorporating technology that made it life easier for a lot of us. So I want to say that right first and foremost, great job if you guys are watching this. However, there's something that I want to pinpoint, something that I want to talk about that I've learned while playing on the Light's Hope private server, Northdale. The biggest thing I've learned so far is that the classic WoW game, classic World of Warcraft, and Azeroth itself in the classic era was not built for 10,000 plus concurrent players. And let me give you my reasons why. So the first reason for me is questing. So if you guys have rolled on Northdale, you probably know where I'm coming from. So the Northdale people implemented dynamic respawn, something that they had to do. You can't have 10,000 concurrent players without altering the respawn rates of mobs, quests, items, etc. However, there's a limitation to how fast you can really make respawn rates. As if you guys know, mob tagging was horrendous. In order to tag a certain mob for a quest, you had to sometimes wait in line, sometimes group up, which is good, you want to group up with people, but the problem is the questing experience, of course, drops if you group up, and I think it was almost hair-raising, the point where you couldn't tag mobs if you went into a, God forbid, if you went into a cave system, that the respawn rates were so high, even 5-man groups were dying, were wiping inside of just regular non-elite mobs, because the respawn rates, again, were so high that they would just kill you. Moreover, if the dynamic respawn wasn't there, imagine how anyone would complete quests. It'd be damn right impossible. And this is a necessary beast that Northdale had to implement, and I'm fully aware of this. But that just goes to show that I don't think the classic WoW worlds, I don't think Azeroth is supposed to hold that many people. And forget elite quests, we haven't even gotten to that. But another part of questing that I like to go over is, and some of my favorite quests are the Escort Quests. They're downright impossible to do, because the respawn rates for those NPCs, there can only be one of those guys existing at a time. And those weren't actually edited. So again, when you start an escort quest, the guy doesn't respawn until the escort is complete, and then I believe there's also a respawn timer in between those two things before the quest NPC respawns. And these quests, to me, are integral to the immersion of the game and the world itself. And these quests were completely undoable. Again, not Northdale's fault, just a product of having 10,000 concurrent players plus. The next aspect I like to talk about is World PvP. And I like to say, first and foremost, World PvP is one of the things that made Vanilla WoW great, and it's amazing. However, when you have this many people on the server, things tend to get a little hectic, a little out of control, and it's almost downright impossible to enjoy. And I'll give you my reasoning why. So World PvP for me usually incorporates strategy, team building, and grouping up. Say you're doing a quest, a guy starts to attack you, and another horde jumps in, helps you out. It scales up from there, but when you have 40 or 50 people in a zone, World PvPing, it really makes things very hectic, number one. And number two, the strategy portion of it really breaks down, because people are so worried about farming mobs and tagging those mob spawns that a lot of the cases, if I went on my shaman and healed someone being ganked, they would just run immediately and not react to the situation and help me destroy the person or kill the person that was first attacking them. And this just kind of snowballs. And what I notice is that you get this every man for himself mentality because the servers are so populated. And I actually think it's bad for World PvP to have more people on. I know some of you are going to argue that point, more HKs, and I understand that. But the world is not big enough for that many people. It just doesn't make sense. And I think World PvP actually suffers because of the high population size. Aspect number 3 that I've noticed is the immersion itself. And this is something that is not really game-breaking for most people. I think it's more, there's a niche group of us that really care about this. But When you log into World of Warcraft, a lot of us want to immerse ourselves in the world and feel comfortable in that situation and really delve into our characters and delve into the world itself. And I think the NPC to PC ratio, so the non-player character to player character ratio, is one of the key factors that makes the world immersible and believable. And I think when you have, 1,000 people, 2,000 people running around in a zone, that immersion breaks down very quickly. It doesn't feel like a living, breathing world anymore. It feels like a anthill or almost like a techno rave party where you can't move to the next person. Like you're just stuck in you're like a tin can. And that's what I've been feeling in not every zone, but definitely in the first couple weeks, and in other zones as well. So for those three main reasons, questing, world PvP, and immersion, I think that what I've learned and what I've noticed immediately is that it's imperative that Blizzard learns the lesson that population caps were not just a limitation of server technology at the time. I personally believe that they will lead to healthier servers and to healthier interactions and healthier gameplay and better gameplay for all players. I'm not saying they have to be as low as they were, but I do think between 2,500 to 5,000, in that magic range, will provide the most balanced play experience. And again, am I overreacting? I may possibly be overreacting. I've never actually experienced a fresh private server launch. When I played on Nost, when I played on Kronos, when I played on Lightbringer, I didn't come in on day one. This is my first private server launch experience, and I think it might be the largest private server launch. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But what I've seen is that I think it goes beyond the product that is just launch day. I think it's more than that. It's just not possible to really fully enjoy and immerse yourself into the classic WoW game with 10, 12,000 people on the server at once. Again, not Northdale's fault, not Light's Hope's fault. They're providing one server with the limited manpower that they have, and they're doing this for free, and they're doing this for us. Thank you guys for doing it. It's not your fault. It's just a product of what needs to be done. Dynamic respawn is a band-aid that needs to be put on, or else we won't be able to level at all. I know some of you, like Defcamp, actually got the first few levels just doing exploration, ran around. He started in Undercities and Undead, took the Zeppelin over, explored as much of the Barrens and Dorotar and Mulgore as he could, and got a few levels that way. A lot of people did that as well. But to me, that is he admitted that's something he wanted to do, something he had to do just to get away from all the people that were running around. So again, that could be just a launch issue, but I think we're going to see repercussions to this. And of course, populations will die down, but I don't think it's healthy for the game, for Classic WoW, to just launch with that many players. I personally don't. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about this. I want your input on this. I'm not the first person to think about this, number one. I'm not an expert on this. This is, I've said this 100 times before in a lot of different vlogs and a lot of different videos. Opinions are like buttholes, and this is just my butthole. Sorry about that. This seems a little disgusting, but it's the truth. It's just an opinion. Be a little counting my chickens before they hatch kind of thing. But let me know what you think. Have you had similar experiences? Have you had better experiences than I have? Just let me know in the comments section below. Guys, thanks for watching. I do want to do a quick Melderon IRL, but before I do that, I just want to thank every single one of you for 1,500 and some odd subscribers. I think we're up to 1,530 by the time this video is being put up. Guys, when I started this channel 2 years ago, I never thought that would ever happen. And I'm telling you the truth, I'm being completely honest with you. This has exceeded my wildest expectations. We're going to continue to grow the channel, of course. We're not quitting. It's amazing. The more subscribers we have, the more, I think, beneficial the Classic WoW launch will be, the healthier it'll be. And of course, we just want to grow the channel as well. I have no problem admitting that. It's something that we really want to do. And it's a dream come true. So thank you all for doing that. Thank you for subscribing. And that's enough of that. I'm going to get into a brief Melderon IRL. Some shifts that are happening with me. I'm traveling next week, so Friday the 12th. I'll be gone for 2 weeks. I'll be in Germany visiting my girlfriend. So I will not be making content in those 2 weeks. I will try to put out another video. We just put out a Death Talk today, or last night. I'll be putting it, I myself will be trying to pump out one more video before I leave. And that'll be like kind of the same vein than the non-instance dungeons video was. So it'll be a little bit different. And Defcamp will be taking over, pumping out some content for you guys in the 2 weeks that I'm gone. I do want to do a brief movie review. Hereditary. It's a horror flick. Came out, I'd say, probably a month ago. I hope it's still in theaters, but if you get a chance to see it before it goes out of the theaters, please do. I'm not lying when I say this. I believe it's the best horror movie since The Shining and since The Exorcist. I think they're very good. I think The Shining is better than The Exorcist. This is either my second or third place for horror film. Acting, impeccable. Cinematography delivered the fear factor in a way that cinematography rarely ever does. And the only thing I can think of is, again, The Shining. The way Kubrick placed his shots. This mirrors that very, very well. Just an amazing job. Amazing job. Brief synopsis. You have a family consisting of a mother, father, brother, and sister. The mother of that family's mother dies, so the grandmother of the children dies. And at the wake, there is a very strange, ominous presence of people who the family has never seen before, and no one knows who they are. And it just goes to show you see immediately that the mother probably had a secret life. The grandmother had a secret life that no one knew about. And that secret life starts to bleed into the family's normal life. And very, very horrible things happen because of that. And I won't spoil it any more than that, but it gets deep and it gets very dark and it gets supernatural. So, as a good horror movie usually does. So check that one out for sure. I would definitely give it an A or A minus. With the highest being an A plus. I think The Shining would get an A plus. This will get an A minus or an A. It's very, very good. Highly recommend. Second thing is more of a channel update and an announcement. So, Defcamp and I have two main passions in our life. One is World of Warcraft, as you obviously have figured out by now. The second is Star Trek. So we're thinking about doing something a little different. Not something regular at all. It's going to be maybe once every 2 months, once a month. We're thinking about making videos on basically synopses of Star Trek episodes from any of the TV shows or movies. We're thinking about watching the movie and then providing our thoughts and insights about that episode. So if you don't know anything about Star Trek, there are many TV series. There are a total of now 6 TV shows with Discovery starting up. Each of those TV shows ran at least 3 seasons, with most of them running 7 seasons. There's a lot of Trek out there. There's a lot of movies. I think there's like 14 movies out now. There's a lot to cover. And we're thinking about selecting some of our favorite episodes and movies, watching them, and just giving you our thoughts about what the Star Trek people were trying to convey. Every episode has a message, and talking about it. If you guys are interested in that, let us know. We want to have a feedback from our core WoW audience. How many of you guys are interested in Star Trek and watch Star Trek and would like to see this kind of thing? Of course, we're not going to tag these videos as Warcraft. We're going to tag them as Star Trek. So we're trying to bridge a gap and trying to expand into another maybe possible group of people that may be interested in Star Trek. But you guys are our priority, and you always will be our priority. World of Warcraft is our priority. But we just want to get a general consensus. Do you guys want to see that? And if you do, why? And are you interested in Star Trek as well? How many of you guys are both Trekkies and crafters? I don't think there's a word for Warcraft people. That's basically where we're at right now. Love you guys all. 1,500 subscribers. We never thought we'd break 1,000. And here we are a couple months after breaking 1,000. We have another 500. Thank you all. We really appreciate it. And we're doing this for you. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, so thanks. Alright, this is Melderon signing off. Keep on buying and grinding, baby. And I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one. See ya.